we are hanging out with the one and only. Tell everybody your name, partner.
My name is Bambu from the Watts District of LA. It's out here in San Francisco, Delores Park.
You've been making a lot of noise, man. You did a song called The Queen is Dead. You got a video that goes along with it, man.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man? You trying to kill off all the queens? Is this some violent thing or what?
You know, I think when you hear the song and even the melody of the song and the tempo of the song, people automatically think it's something I wrote for women, or, you know, it really is a song that I wrote for brothers. Like, you know, for a long, it was inspired by one of my mentors who raised me, taught me my gender politics, things like that, really brought me up. Just recently cheated on his wife and 3 children, and it really jacked me up and shook me up, and that song came out of it, you know what I mean? And what was important in that lesson for me was that here's this brother who raised me, who did all kinds of work for the community. He turned his back on his family, and the community didn't support him. They went and backed his wife up, which was great, you know, and that's what the video symbolizes, and that's what I talk about in the song, is that, you know, there's too many of us use those terms too loosely, you know.
So you mean like brothers will say queen and
right,
all that stuff?
So loosely, and not really just because it sounds so much better than calling a woman a bitch. You think I'm gonna do the exact opposite, but it's just the same. I mean, it's in the context you use it, it's the way you treat a person, not necessarily what words you use, you know what I mean? Like,
a girl head, I'll get a girl to bed, a proclamation that the queen been shot and dead. Cause way too many peers of mine kick rhymes, throwing lines like queen and they vocabin at the same time. Grind on a woman at the club while the wife spend the night with his kid. He see his life like a vid, while his wife buy the shit that he dish when words fly. So I'm here to check these brothers, tell these sisters they lie.
You know, there's conscious or coffee house pimping.
Right, that's exactly.
You know, like
Macktavist.
A lot of times, yeah, Mackavism, like they talk about the fact, and it's windy out here, folks, but they talk about the fact that they're, you know, oftentimes we talk about who's doing the women wrong, they'll point to like some gangster, but a lot of times it be the conscious cats too.
Right.
Can you speak on that a little?
Well, because I think that, you know, it's easier, you know, because you know, when you know what you get when you step to a gangster. You get with a gangster, you know what you get. You know what I mean? He'll usually be pretty upfront with you. Most of the time when it comes to Macktavist, you know, they blind you with the queen talk or the sister talk, or, you know, you hold up half the sky type stuff, and then they do you exactly the same way. So I think it's more prevalent in that community because they get away with these kind of things, you know.
Is it a man thing?
It's definitely a man thing. I mean, I think sometimes men will manipulate things like that. I mean, I hear brothers all the time, you know, talk about, well, you know, back in the old country we had many wives, so this is why, you know, I hear that rant all the time,
So
you know.
Did they do that in the Filipino community too?
You know, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did, you know, and I hear my African brothers say it, some of my Latino brothers say, you know, it's like, yo, you know, back in the day we had many wives. This was because that's the way it is, and now they try to carry that over here, you know, and
when it's convenient.
When it's convenient, exactly. Yeah. When it's convenient, so
they don't say that, you know, those people had to take care of those
right,
wives.
Exactly. Or it was a warrior culture, and you lost a lot of men because a lot of men were going out and dying, so they had to procreate, and you know, they failed to mention that, and it's just about really just sleeping with as many women as you can. You know,
there's been a lot of downfall in our community because of men stepping out, the Jesse Jacksons, more recently the Tiger Woods, who everybody was like, oh my gosh,
right.
What is this about? Are we putting the wrong type of boundaries on these things? If so many people are going astray and doing, you know, and not sticking to the program as they claim publicly, you know, I mean, what's going on with that?
I think it's one of those things that needs continuous exploration. I mean, I've been guilty of you know, being labeled a Macktavist at one point in my life. I mean, and it's those kind of things that I have to learn from. I really don't know the answer. I mean, I have really, like I said, my mentor who taught me all the gender politics I know, you know, he was with this woman for, you know, double digits, and he, you know, he still cheated on his wife and 3 kids. You know, he had a whole affair. So it's still something I'm trying to explore and answer, and I'm hoping that we at least start a dialogue amongst men and put our male privilege aside, you know, because I don't think as men of color we don't recognize that we too still have a privilege. You know what I mean? I think we figure because we get shitted on every day as men of color, we forget that, you know, women have to deal with being a person of color and being a woman. You know, so we just shit on them all day, you know, trying to get our own empowerment up.
So this is off the album Exact Change.
It's off the album Paper Cuts.
Paper Cuts, that's right. Exact Change was the other one.
The Exact
This
Change
is off
was the last one.
Paper Cuts.
Yeah, Paper
Queen and
I heard the queen was dead. I heard the queen was dead. I said boom, bye bye. I heard the